Have I told you guys about the there's a road safety ad on the City Link around here, and it's aimed at motorcycle riders to make them wear like their helmets and shit. And so it's got a picture of someone on a motorbike, and the words are "Got the gear, ride with it." Ridiculous.
Jesus.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Melbourne is cancelled. No. Hi, friends and fans. Welcome back to the Complete Guide to Horror podcast. Today, we're discussing The Signal, the 2007 independent horror movie in which all these different characters... Shit, I forgot what I was actually about to say. The 2007 independent horror film, told in 3 parts, in which all telecommunication and audio-visual devices start transmitting a mysterious signal, turning people mad. You know, a lot of crazy shit happens. But just one thing that I wanted to point out with this movie is that this movie only had a $50,000 budget. I mean, to give it more of a, behind-the-scenes production values and whatnot, usually $50,000 is allocated just purely for admin work. So, things like setting up printing, call sheets, organizing crew, organizing cast, So for this entire movie to be made on $50,000 is incredible. I mean, yeah, Paranormal Activity was made for $17,000 way back in 2009. But at the same time, that was done with handheld cameras. This is a proper feature film. There was no shortcuts with this one. I just think this is a very underseen movie. I didn't actually hear about it until you suggested it, Coop. And going into it, I read like the Wikipedia, not summary, just like the little blurb at the top of the page. And I was like, oh, this seems similar to Stephen King's Cell. It reminds me of Pulse. It reminds me, especially with the non-linear narrative, just reminded me straight away of The Grudge, both 1 and 2, the Western remakes. I actually really like this movie. I think it has its own distinguished style. It has its own important characters. I did first think, with it being told in 3 separate transmissions, is this going to go, a bit haywire? Is it going to be a bit disjointed? But I actually felt that it helped move the film along quite well. I would say my favorite transmission out of all of them is probably the Jealousy Monster one, the second one. I'm a huge sucker for, big reveals. I love anything that's more of like a important heightened piece of the movie. But, yeah, I'm interested to hear your thoughts, Coop, as this is your pick of the month. Why did you choose The Signal, and what did you think?
This was a movie that I'd actually forgotten about, and then when I remembered, it was like, how did I forget about that movie? I was actually trying to think of what my pick of the month could be this month, and trying to think sort of what avenue of movie I wanted to go down, and then this just popped into my head. I was like, shit, that was like, I remember that being really good. I hadn't seen it probably for at least like 7 or 8 years. It had been a while since I'd seen this movie. It's another Civic Video shout out. Got it on DVD back in the day. Remembered really enjoying it, and never really came back to it again. So threw it into the mix, and was hoping that it wasn't going to be a rest stop situation. Sorry, Byron.
Too good.
But yeah, I really enjoyed watching this movie again. And I hadn't even properly looked at it. I didn't realize that it only had a $50,000 budget. That is incredible, considering what they did with this movie. I didn't know the first time I watched this that it was sort of split into like that there was 3 different directors I think different writers as well. I think there were all different pieces throughout this movie were written and directed by those three writers, each of them doing their own part. And I thought that it flowed really well. One of the movies that you didn't mention, Justin, that this reminds me of in some of the scenes, just given the sort of rage factor, is 28 Days Later. I thought that sort of did a lot of those scenes really well, of just like things are just getting more and more insane, more and more insane. I feel like as an independent movie, it was just kind of really well done. So yeah, interested to know what you'll think.
I just wanted to point out, sorry, BP.
Good.
One of the writers, directors for these shorts, his name is David Bruckner. So he also just recently directed the Hellraiser reboot, which has gotten seriously positive reviews. Likewise, he also directed the segment Amateur Night for the first V/H/S movie way back in 2012. He's also done other movies like The Ritual, Southbound, The Night House. Admittedly, I haven't seen any of those, but I was a big fan of his VHS segment that I was like, oh, where have I seen this name before in the credits? I know I've seen it in some other horror movie or anthology, but I was actually thinking more along the lines of a Blumhouse production. Not because this movie is like a Blumhouse one, but maybe that's just where I've seen the name in like the credits of Truth or Dare or, you know, any other Blumhouse movie. But yeah, BP, I would like to know your thoughts.
I have a confession. I watched the wrong movie. I thought we were watching. You were talking about no. So in our thing, I swear someone put 2014 The Signal, which is what I watched, which is
I think I did by mistake.
Thriller film.
I'm so sorry. I think that was my fault because
go back and check. I went and watched it. I'm watching it. I'm like, I think Coop recommended this, so I did not even know this was 2007.
What was the other one like? Byron Schoolers.
It's just about a group of hackers, like young college kids who are trying to meet a hacker, and then it's got Laurence Fishburne in it.
Hey, Mr. Fishburne.
Yo, what up, G? 2 fingers. Last time I was here, he mistook me for Laurence Fishburne, and I just never corrected him. I said 2 fingers, bitch! Now go be a father to your son, my strong black brother.
It's got the director from Next of Kin, which I thought was interesting. Paranormal Activity, Next of Kin, which when you were talking about, I'm like, okay. But then when you mentioned hallway, I'm like, there's no hallway. Yeah, so I'm going to have to sit quiet on this. I'll watch it and I'll give you my feedback next time if you want. I'm happy to watch it. If you want to watch the 2014 one, have a look at it. It's a science fiction thriller. Not really horror, though.
How about we just we do the questions and then you just answer with what it was like on the other movie?
Wow. What was your favorite part?
I could just cut out Coop's face, superimpose it onto yours, and I'll be like, Coop, what was your favorite part? And only play half of Coop's favorite parts in the second half. It'll be I'll just use the voice changing function, and it's like, wow, BP has the exact same opinions as Coop. There was miscommunication in The Signal.
I know exactly what my favorite part of this movie is. It's when everything's going on at that other house where she's crashed her car at. And Ben comes in and kills someone and everything like that, and that woman's she's already killed him because he tried to kill her. And then she's talking about, I should cancel the party because she's all fucked up over everything that's just happened. She's like, oh well, obviously nobody's gonna come to a party with everything that's going on. And then there's a knock at the door, and then that guy's just 100% there just for a housewarming party, basically, while the entire world is just in chaos. I thought that was one of the funniest parts of the whole movie. And just that whole atmosphere with everything that's going on in that flat, that house, with Ben seeing everyone as somebody else, and just I guess eventually pretty much just killing everybody because he's an absolute psycho, bloody psycho, mate. But yeah, really good, really good.
It's one of those movies where, usually when it comes to like themes around like domestic violence or whatnot, I'm like, maybe they shouldn't have put it in. But I think because of the comedic like undertones of this movie, I was like, oh yeah, that's funny. Like, it's just something where this movie sets you up for such a good time that you're waiting for the next batshit crazy thing to happen. But
yeah, 100%.
Admittedly, I would have no idea if there's anything like that in the Signal version that BP watched. So, BP, would you like to let us know your favorite part of the Signal you watched?
Yeah.
Had really good cinematography, and there were really good sort of sequences in my one, like going back to because it's about sort of like life choices and that sort of stuff as well. So that was like my favorite bit of my movie. But I'd say watch the trailer and see what you guys think if you want to watch it. And I'll watch yours.
Sweet.
Every time I hear the name Laurence Fishburne, I always go straight to The Matrix. I don't think of any other movie Laurence Fishburne has been in.
I go to CSI.
Was he in CSI?
Pretty sure he's in CSI New York. Not New York.
There's like 1,000 CSIs.
I think he was in CSI, one of them.
There's like CSI Sawtell at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a new one, like CSI Vegas, and like Grissom's back from the original, and Laura's back.
I mean, honestly, I'm just waiting for Law and Order Barrowville to come out at this stage.
Yes, I'll be watching. I'll be like executive producer of that one.
Oh, yeah. So many stories to choose from. But
it'd be like the Water Tower episode.
I just want to know, why did someone paint cracks onto the water tower in Nambucca? But anyway, that's a separate thing. If I try to think about a bad point about The Signal 2007, I can't actually think of anything straight away. And this is quite rare. When it comes to independent horror movies, I have plenty of shit that I can just like, ravage on about and be like, they did this wrong. This casting was incorrect. The only thing that I can say, and it's only because I've got it right up in front of me, is maybe the poster could have been, I don't know, a bit more representative of the film as a whole. Because the poster I'm looking at the moment is just the close-up of the bearded guy whose name I always forget. And he's got like blood marks. It just has The Signal. Then the tagline is, "Do you have the crazy?" And then there's some weird pop time, some text above The Signal to say like the production company or whatnot. And I'm just like, ugh. I don't really get horror movie from the poster. I get that I look at this and see that it's like a music documentary or like a concert poster, because it's like Pop Films, The Signal. Do you have the crazy? And it's like. Okay. I don't necessarily agree with that tagline. Maybe it should have been something a bit more mysterious, or I don't know. I can't actually think of a good tagline, but that's my only gripe. So it's actually nothing to do with the movie. It's purely with the marketing. But every other part of the marketing I think was done so correctly. I would have, considering this was 2007. Maybe if they just had a bit more of a presence on the internet with like, PR articles, or even to do with, good word of mouth around social networking sites, especially IMDb, which would have been huge back in the late 2000s. But that's my only gripe. Coop, did you have any least favorite parts about The Signal?
Probably like with most movies, the ending they could have pulled off a bit more smoothly, but otherwise, because it just sort of felt like it was building to something, and then it all kind of just faltered in the end, which was unfortunate. I thought like the middle part of the movie was the strongest, so I guess the second transmission would have been my favorite part of the movie, while I thought the third transmission probably wasn't as strong. On what you said about the because I hadn't actually seen that poster, the one you're looking at. I just saw that one you're looking at then for the poster. I'm just sitting through now the one that I saw, which even then, I think the one that I saw, it's not really that grabby. I reckon it's more grabby than the one that you were looking at. I didn't know anything about this movie. This was just something that I saw at Civic Video. I hadn't seen any trailers or knew anything about it, and just picked it up and watched it. So I guess maybe the marketing wasn't very good because it was something that I randomly picked up. So I guess that would be sort of a fault with this movie, that it wasn't sort of heavily marketed, at least around my part, mate. So yeah.
BP, what was your least favorite part of your version of The Signal?
The whole movie it was lacking something throughout the whole movie. I'd seen it ages ago and wanted to like it. Was super hyped for it when the trailer was released, and then came away not that impressed. And I had the same issue this time around. I don't know. When I went online, it's this thing. It kind of reminds me of Coop and I on Smile, how you really liked it and I didn't. Because when I went online, a lot of the comments were like, "It's really good. Like everyone must see." And I'm thinking, what have I missed? Because this is twice now I've seen this movie and still just misses something that's not completely convincing me this movie is actually good. Like, I wouldn't watch it again after this. 2 times was enough for me.
Yeah. I don't have anything to add because I haven't seen the sequel 2014-15 version. So I'll just politely agree.
Yep.
And be like, yep, you're 100% right.
Good movie. Watch it. $50,000 budget. Amazing. They should be very, very proud of that. So yeah.
Nice. Huge congratulations. Huge congratulations all around, especially with that $50,000 budget, which is insane. I'm surprised this hasn't been used as a case study in like film schools, whether it's AFTRS or if it's SAE or James C. Academy or the 50,000 other film schools in Australia and worldwide that, talk about using micro budgets to your full advantage. Likewise, BP, do you have any final thoughts on either Signal movies?
Watch the trailer for the 2014 one and go from there. It is a different film. Could be something we could look at. And I'll check out the 2007 version and let you know.
I'm definitely going to check out your version, BP, as well. My own thoughts with 2007 version is, like I said at the start, I was really surprised at how cohesive this whole movie was. Still can't believe they stuck to $50,000 for an overall budget. Really like the transmission sequences. I think I'm actually surprised that there's no sequel to this movie, considering that, looking at the box office, it made $400,000. It would have made it probably much more on, DVD, considering this was 2007. Maybe they've got some extra money from streaming rights per se, but although maybe the writers directors just didn't want to pursue a sequel, they thought this could have been a standalone movie that didn't necessarily warrant a sequel of any chance. But considering that it made 8 times its budget back, I would have thought the production companies would have been like ramming it down their throat like Paramount does with all their IP, where they would have been like, you have to do a sequel now. We want to make more hundreds of thousands of dollars. But who knows? Maybe the writers directors stuck to their guns. So yeah. But BP and Coop, just want to say thank you very much for joining us today for our unofficial second episode of Versus.
Thank you.
No worries.
If you liked our episode, give us a like, comment, share, tip, etc., etc. And if you hated this episode,
hey, squirrel friend, when one video ends, just open up another one. It's called binge viewing. Go ahead. I support you.